Oh, worship the King, all glorious above, and gratefully sing His wonderful love. Something like that. So in this video, I'd like to talk about news. No more news. Brian Greene out of San Marcos, California. Props to you. I'd love to sit down and have a beer with you, buddy. What you're doing, I tell you what, you helped me a lot to see some real news like the Trump gold coins that I'm trying to wake people up to, but stuff like that, wow, you're on it. So thanks for waking me up. And if you need to watch some real news, watch No More News. I think you can see it on BitChute still, and he is on DLive. I'm a little tough with that. I'm not a real techie savvy guy, but hopefully maybe I'll have a chat church soon if I can ever get it all worked out. But I'm praying that the King helps me with my technical issues, technical difficulties or whatever. But I have to give props to that Adam. Did I say Brian? Sorry, Adam Greene. Because he is nailing it. He's showing all the stuff that fits exactly with Synagogue de Satan, with what Bibi's up to, and all these things. So it's really good. If you want to wake up and watch some real news, watch No More News with Brian Greene. Because King's U props you as the only true news right now that I see. So I see Adam Greene as already living for a king because he's being as honest as can be about the real news. Now, he grew up in a church, and I don't hold that against him, and I think he's working for a king because he's following the golden rule. So I already let him know that how I see it, he'll be like world king news, King's World News for 1,000 years the way he's going, because he's just speaking truth. And wow, there's none of that in the news. We've got 7 seas of lies in just the media, and wow, to see him just give pure truth. I don't care what church he grew up in, he's living the golden rule and acting like Santa Claus is real, and that he's got a naughty list, and most of the news is on it, including Fox News, that if it was Fox Nude News, well, let's just say that the Laura Ingraham show would need more than a fig leaf, and maybe that Donna Brazile too, little masculine style there. Anyway, it's good to get into truth, not just the people you're watching who would not be good at Adam and Eve too. You know what I'm saying? That's where the Adam and Steve ones, they get really stressed out with that idea that there could be another Adam and Eve age. Well, I'm not trying to get Adam to announce that. I don't know if that's full on. It could be, but all I'm saying is that he's so into the truth, and that's so good to hear. It's kind of like what I try to do for the church. So to me, if I'm the church's Braveheart, which I'm trying to be, the real church of the King, then I'd say that he's like the Braveheart of the news show, and his insignia with the warrior, I just love it. It's got a hatchet and everything, apparently one of my great grandfathers had in Scotland. So hey, props to you, Adam. Keep it up, man. You're telling truth in the news. It's so beautiful to hear. And if you want to hear good preaching, visit Matthew Nolan or Mike Connell. He's one of the few. They're one of the few that are still sticking with truth. And if you want to see what's really going on with, not the Ashkenazis who say they're Jews, but with the real Jews, well, the Rothschild slave ship, the first one, and I got that from not Adam Greene, but Matthew Nolan, was the first slave ship from the Rothschilds went to Africa in 1700 or something, and it went to Africa, owned by the Rothschilds, and picked up a slave from the state of Negro land. Kind of like when I was a kid, we used to call black people Negroes, and they'd call us white guys, and it wasn't a bad thing. But now it's like, oh no, gotta be African American. Well, anyway, these African American, whatever, they were from Negro land, the state. Those people that lived in Negro land, well, they were all of the tribe of Cush. One of those original tribes, you know, not Ashkenazi, you know, they weren't. So, like, if there is really, like, anti-Semitism, it might be towards those original black slaves that came from the tribe of Cush. So, maybe you better beware of what all these laws they're trying to put through about anti-Semitism. What is because what are Semites really? Are they parasites or what are they? Because there's nothing about the Bible that I see in them, but wow, we've got all these laws going through, making them and all the LGBTQs in the same boat. And wow, this is really, really weird. Like Israel Part 2, because that's what Israel already did, right? So I can't keep up with it all. But the main thing is you want to get real news, and real preaching would be good, so you can find out who these people from Israel really are. And well, that Cush tribe, yeah, it's been here, but of course they don't want to talk about that. They just talk about the chosen ones, who have chosen themselves as the chosen one. So that's why I like Brian. Why'd I call him Brian? Sorry. Adam. He's just so straight up with all these things, and he shows you everything. And so it's beautiful. And those two preachers are really good too. Mike Connell and Matthew Nolan. But that Matthew Nolan, you've got to find him on BitChute, because he's kind of hard to find. But these are truths that are really good to keep you in the know, because right now there's a fog and it's really thick. But it's deception and beast mark hearts that are trying to push people in that fold of the beastly ones. So get out of the fog, buddy. Because if you're with the king and following the real news from Adam, like the king's gonna have, here's some real preaching that might kind of like get you ready for that king who's coming. And then you don't get caught up in all these stupid fear-mongering games, because, wow, I tell you, I'm amazed how many people are falling for these things. And it's like, maybe that depopulation idea is going to work out after all. I don't know, but we need to pray. Try to do that Quaker thing and pray for those you see with a mask, and maybe they can just take it off on their own and figure it out and wake up, if they're not too beastly yet. But we can't figure out all these things, so it's better to leave it to the king and just pray for him and see what you can do through those mustard seeds that you got of faith, you know? So it's all good. Be anxious for nothing. That's the verse of the day. So, hey, hope you're doing it. And not getting in that hay.